In response to Western sanctions on some members, BRICS countries have accelerated the development of an independent international payment system. BRICS Bridge claims to be unaffected by political intimidation, financial malpractice, and third-party interference. The multilateral digital payment platform will act as a bridge between the financial markets of the BRICS member countries and is aimed at increasing mutual trade.
Why is it needed? Because the current international system of payment, so-called SWIFT, is under control of the West, the US and other Western countries. And they have used this SWIFT system to impose sanctions and restrictions on countries they do not like. So we as BRICS are well advised to move forward into creating an alternative to SWIFT. And that's what the Russian authorities, together with other BRICS countries, are pursuing right now.
If approved, the system will use the digital currencies of the BRICS central banks, and their exchange rate will be tied to the value of national currencies. Countries currently outside BRICS could be interested in joining. According to political economists and sanctions experts, the sanctioning of a country by eliminating its access to SWIFT can have negative impacts for its trade partners and the so-called weaponization of the dollar.
In the past several years, there have already been several platforms, including the so-called mBridge, that were designed along the same principles of co-integrating central bank digital currencies. And the experience thus far is that technologically it works quite well, and it allows to reduce the cost of transactions and to increase the speed of transactions substantially. The problem is that not all of the countries within the BRICS grouping are on board.
Some BRICS member states still have concerns regarding the system, but in Russia, the urgency for a new system is felt more acutely as the country was expelled from SWIFT in 2022.
Russia's conflict with Ukraine has become an accelerator for de-dollarization, and experts argue that creation of a new reserve currency will be necessary to make this system work properly. It seems that the work on the BRICS bridge has become the central plank of Russia's presidency of the bloc. Dasha Chernyshova, TRT World, Moscow.
All right, Shalom, Yeshua, Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rachak Wadash, double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the tabernacles of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, whomever you may be. Wherever you may be, Shalom, Yeshua, Shalom. All right, we're going to get into this AI chat. So you see here on the screen, it says BRICS unveils long-awaited payment system at new summit. All right, BRICS, the Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, unveils long-awaited payment system at new summit. All right, so let's check it out. So let me see here. And that's the BRICS 2024, Russia 2024. So it says the key takeaways. BRICS Business Forum officially debuted BRICS Pay. And that's what we're going to talk about today, the BRICS Pay. That's what you saw, that card, should have been this screenshot or the thumbnail, however you want to call it, thumbnail. That's the card there. BRICS Business Forum officially debuted BRICS Pay. Attendees had a hands-on experience with the new payment system. The system can utilize digital currencies, because this is what we're moving into, all right? As we always mention, 2 Corinthians 2:11, lest Satan should get interventions of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. And what are we talking about right now? The digital system that leads into the CHIP, all right? The system can utilize digital currencies or stable coins representing member states' national currencies, okay? So this is that push, that move that the BRICS have been talking about in their de-dollarization. Okay, they're moving closer and closer towards it, which really is ultimately just going to usher in the help usher in the digital system, anyways. Because once the American dollar is pushed out of the way, well, they're not going to have that. Okay, they're going to go ahead straight forward with their system. Okay. So, you know, that's really just all talk of pushing the American dollar out of the way. They can move away from it, but once they fully move away from it, if they do, all right, that's when that change is going to come, because the American dollar bill is not going to have it. Okay. Now it says BRICS Pay, and we also have a video. We'll probably check that video out too. You know, as someone goes into it and breaks it down even more. about this thing here. Okay, from their summit, their meeting, whatever you want to call it. So it says BRICS Pay, a highly anticipated global payment system, was officially launched at the BRICS Business Forum in Moscow. All right, that's what the most recent meetup was. The BRICS Business Forum in Moscow, Russia, marking a major step forward in the evolution of financial transactions among the bloc's member nations, which being, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, because we know there's a BRICS Plus with other, member states. So it says designed to transform how money moves across members' borders, meaning them dealing in their own currency without the American dollar amongst themselves. Okay. It says the payments platform looks to offer an autonomous and cost-efficient alternative to traditional international payment systems. All right. What's the traditional international payment system? Okay. You have the regular systems of how they work, but then you also, the main currency being, in those regular systems being the dollar bill. So let me see what it says. BRICS unveils new payment system. So it says to showcase the system's capabilities, BRICS Business Forum attendees were issued demo cards preloaded with 500 rubles, which is once again, that's the thumbnail that you saw. That's the card preloaded with 500 rubles. It says which could be used at various locations within the World Trade Center. So it says the unveiling of BRICS Pay marks a significant milestone in the bloc's quest for greater financial autonomy and de-dollarization. Okay. Let me see here. It says by developing, there it is right there. By developing an independent payment system, BRICS nations aim to reduce their reliance on Western financial institutions, and establish a more decentralized and solid global financial architecture, which is supposed to be one of their own. Okay, and this pretty much, this is the pilot program. Okay, this BRICS Pay. Okay, so you see the card. I'm pretty sure the actual final card wouldn't look like this. This is just a demo card. You see the 500 rubles loaded up to it. You got a man, I can't even think of the name of they call this thing now. But this scan thing that you can scan there. Okay, and so on and so forth. So it says full control over financial resources is necessary for countries to achieve true sovereignty. This pursuit is a shared goal among nations striving for independent policies and the well-being of their citizens, the BRICS group said at the new payment system launch event. So it says to bring the BRICS Pay project to fruition, a coalition of technological, financial, legal, and consulting firms has established the BRICS Pay Consortium. This consortium will operate as a decentralized autonomous organization, in compliance with the regulations of each member country. So basically, they're all in agreement with this system and how it works and the way that's supposed to function. All right, to move them further and further away from the American dollar bill. All right, so it says how BRICS Pay streamlines cross-border transactions. It says BRICS Pay facilitates seamless transactions among the BRICS group member countries, including Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, which is where you get BRICS from. Okay, because it was first Brazil, Russia, India, China, and then South Africa got added on and became from BRIC to BRICS. But those are the core members. So when you hear about BRICS Plus, it's those core members plus the other nations that have already joined and become, members, what you're known as Plus. So it says BRICS Pay utilizes blockchain technology. We know about that blockchain technology. So say you have a party of 4 people, okay, and they go out to have, a party fun night, all right, and nobody seems to have money in their account except for good old Greg, all right. So Greg says that, okay, I'll pay for everybody's, because everybody was supposed to pay for their own things, but nobody has money except for Greg. Greg says, okay, I'll pay for everybody's things as long as you pay me back. So the other 3, all right, Marty, Jeff, and Steve, all right, when time comes, whenever they first get a chance to, they send a money transaction to whoever the first guy, I forgot the first guy's name, to guy number 1. Okay, so guy number 1 pays for everything. Guy number 2, 3, and 4, All right. When the time comes, they send personal transactions to guy number 1. So guy number 3 sends a transaction to guy number 1. Guy number 2 sends a transaction to guy number 1. Guy number 4 sends a transaction to guy number 1. And in the blockchain technology, that transaction that was made between guy number 3 and 1, 2 and 1, and 4 and 1 are sealed up in a block, and they both have that transaction, and no one's able to, go into that. All right. So it's supposed to be very secure, is what they say. Okay. Now, if other transactions happen, what happens is it links. Okay. So you're creating, you should see how it works from there. All right. You create more blockchains. That's why it's called a blockchain, because that block is supposed to be fortified. All right. Amongst only those who made the transaction. And then you chain when you make other transactions amongst those same parties. And everyone will have a copy of that particular transaction. And that's the basis of the blockchain. And it's supposed to keep out everything else. But we know that someone made the system. So what keeps them out of the system? They say is, it's so secretive and, so secure. But what about from the ones that made the system? And that's what they never talk about. So I hope I explained that. I'm not the best with explaining these things. So Lord willing, you understood that. So it says, BricsPay utilizes blockchain technology and smart contracts to enable transparent and decentralized decision-making. It says the platform can support digital currencies or stablecoin pegged to the national currencies. All right. And I don't know what exactly these coin things, Bitcoin, stablecoins. I don't really, understand those things very deeply. But I notice it says here, digital currencies, it can support digital currencies because we know that's the direction that we're moving to. So that has to be the main thing. But then it says also, or stable coins pegged to the national currencies, which meaning their original currency as of right now. All right. But, those things will eventually get transferred over to the digital. That's why the digital is here. OK, in this, program. All right. Because it's all about the digital. They can throw whatever else they want to in there and dibble and dabble around with that. But it's all about the digital form of currency. OK, so it says, the national currencies of member states. So it says this allows BricsPay to reduce its reliance on traditional systems and minimize transaction costs. And that's the same thing as when we talk about the FedNow. OK, so, and there's other things to it, other different avenues there. But they're trying to stop relying on the current system, and also on a sub note or side note or whatever, they want to move away from the American dollar. So they're putting those two things together, and it leads up to what? To the same thing that side, which is what the American dollar is going to, which is the digital system. So it goes to show you that all, like when it mentions Psalms, the 83rd chapter, all those players at that round table, they're still together at the same table. The United Nations, everybody's there except for the Israelites. Now, the Israelis are there, but those are not the Israelites. They're the pretenderites, okay? So everyone's in on this, stemming from the objectives of the banking families. Everyone's in on this, but on a global scale, they have to make it seem like there's so many differences, which they are probably personal differences in real life, but ultimately, all right, the goal is to move forward with the banking family's plans and to wipe you Israelites out of the picture or make you as permanent slaves. That's the ultimate plan right there. Okay. And that's why we mentioned Psalms 83rd chapter, because it mentions all your enemies. Okay. Because everybody thinks love, 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 and God loves everybody. Well, it just mentions the Lord's enemies in Psalms 83rd chapter. So if you belong to the Lord, you Israelites, by default, these other nations are your enemies. And one of the first ones it mentions is Edom. And it also mentions Amalek, which are those Israelis that we just mentioned. All right. So, just to make it the full point, everybody's in on this. OK, everybody's in on this. All right. They make it seem like they're so separate, but everybody's in on the digital currency systems and the micro C-HIP. All right. So it says critically, BricsPay ensures interoperability between various payment systems in member countries. All right. It says users can conduct cross-border transactions without the need for multiple intermediaries. All right. All this, stop and go between here, there, and, all this, it's just smooth. All right. Straight through. And that's what we were just about to mention with the FedNow. OK, is made to make international transactions smooth and make them immediate. There's no wait time. All right. If I want to send $10,000 to my wife on a business trip in Florida, okay, it's going to happen immediately. It's not going to be no wait time. She's not going to have to wait 48 hours or 72 hours or whatever. It's going to be an immediate transaction. And that's why we keep mentioning the same word over and over and over. And it goes back to the one single word, convenience. They're trying to convenience everything for people. But as the scripture have said, never trust thine enemy, for as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Okay, at the end, he will declare at the end, he will declare why he's making everything so convenient for you. It's to make you fall into that pitfall trap. You know, you like got the fake grass and it's a trap door and down there. There's nothing but spikes. All right. And that's what's going to happen. All right. Sonic going to fall on the spike again. That's what they're trying to do to everybody. Get you into the trap. Because once you're into the trap, there's no way out of it. Then they can just show their teeth. They can show their horns, but they have to get you there first. Okay. So they're offering things to you that are convenient. They're offering up incentives, and so on and so forth to woo you into it, like they were doing with the AR, the VR, and the XR technology. AR standing for augmented reality, XR standing for extended reality, and what was the VR standing for virtual reality. Okay, they get you immersed in it and make you love it so much, all right, that you want to stay in it. All they have to do is first get you to want to go into it. Because once you go into it, they've already thought out how to keep you there immersed in this world, this fake world, all right, fashioned around you. And then furthermore, they're going to make the real world all decayed and destroyed and messed up around you, just like the Matrix was, you see? And that's why people wanted to stay in the Matrix, like Cypher, for example. He wanted to stay in the Matrix because the fake world was better than the real world. And that's the reality of what they're bringing. You know, they want to do the 15-minute cities and all these things. You will own nothing and you will be happy. You will eat Z-bugs and you will be happy. And they're going to bring attempt to bring these things on the people. And all this pressure and all this surveillance and all these restrictions. And then they can throw virtual reality in your lap and you forget about the real world. That's exactly how the Matrix was. All right. Esau really is the machines, man. All right. Which he operates, you know, he's trying to operate through his digital technology and things of that nature. And just like in the Matrix, you have the machines. OK, they have the war with the machines and so on and so forth. Talk about they scorch the sky. He's doing that. He's trying to block out the sun. But that goes back to Jeremiah 31. You don't think he knows that? You think he's just randomly trying to stop the sunlight? Nah, man. He knows what the Bible says. Okay, so if I can stop the sun, if I can search out the earth or search out the deep waters of the earth or the sun seems the most reasonable one. I think I can block out the sun from the sky. Let's try that one. You think it doesn't know that thing? What it says in the scripture? Because he knows if he can do that, the Lord says he'll cut off the nation of Israel from being his people. He ain't stupid, man. Okay, what he is crafty. Okay. But let's get back on point with this because we can just keep talking about, you know. All right, it's a good little topic there. It says a key feature of the system is its inherent adherence to each member country's legal and regulatory frameworks. This setup enables quick and low-cost transactions, which could boost trade and investment among BRICS nations. In a hands-on demonstration at the summit, users could register for the BRICS Pay card using a QR code. Attendees then use the preloaded funds to purchase items such as drinks and souvenirs at the business forum. So basically, it was to give them a feel of how this is going to work. And we're going to show you how smooth this is. And we're going to preload it with 500 rubles. So you can go buy drinks and things. You can buy some souvenirs and then you have a fun time. And then when the true system rolls out, you're used to it. You understand how it works. And we're all in agreement with it. And we can roll it out. Digital system. Okay. And then who's going to come? You know, because America's always the last, but then it's going to hit America. And these Americans are, you know, bugging out now already over money and food and rent and things of that nature. And those of them that think their life is together, I go home to a nice home. I don't have any worries and this like that. Oh, it's going to hit you the hardest because you're so wrapped up that your life is so nice. And you got no worries. That's what's going to hit you the hardest because you don't see this coming because you're too wrapped up in your arrogance thinking that your life is good and put together. And it's going to hit them people hardest, man. Okay. There will be no middle class. There's going to be the upper class and the lower class. And that middle class is going to be joined together with the lower class. Okay. Unless they excel. But I don't see that happening. That's the end of the article. What is this? Blockchain-based payment system challenge Western financial. We're going to see. It's only going to move, you know, their hand towards, you know, the digital system because that's what it all boils down to on either side. So, oh, this is from CCN. I've never heard of this before. All right, but it says BRICS unveils long-awaited payment system at new summit. All right, so don't go anywhere. I'm going to pull up this video. We're going to listen to that as well. All right, so it's a little quick, almost 8.5-minute video, okay, about this. So, and this chick is pretty much going into it and, attempting to break some things down. So we'll let this video play and, we'll chime in, as needed when necessary. So let's just go on play.
Hi everyone, welcome to World Affairs in Context podcast. If you haven't already, please take a second now to follow the podcast on alternative media channels. You will find them linked in the description below. October has been a busy month for BRICS members. With the summit coming up in just a matter of days, there's quite a bit of speculation as to whether the bloc will reveal a new payment system and what other surprise announcements might be made at that time. Now, the BRICS members represent 37% of the global economy, so it is absolutely clear that any new developments will be quite consequential.
Yeah, I'm going to stop before she moves on. And I mentioned that once before, okay? That 37%, like if you listen to the American side of things or whatever the case may be, they'll make it seem like they're not doing anything, all right? But that 37% is actually a lot. It's a lot, okay? You have Russia, who's very confident, all right? Because you have the other member states, especially China. China has the Belts and Roads Initiative. They're doing a lot there. They've done some things in Africa, and they're kind of all over. But they're the ones who have fashioned, and this talks about this in 2nd Esdras chapter 15, man. Why it jumps from talking about the destruction of America in World War III, and then it goes into talking about China. All right, there's a reason behind that, because China is the one country that has closely fashioned itself after America, which, well, we just mentioned that Belts and Roads Initiative, and they're doing a lot of things there. China's a little bit everywhere, okay? And that's why we talk about things often, dealing with after the destruction of America, okay, well, the nations are going to fight one another because all these different coalitions are going to be broken up. The whole BRICS nations are going to be broken up because China's going to run a rule. Russia's going to want to rule. South Africa's going to want to rule. And then you have the opposite side that was in the fight of World War III. Those people are going to want to rule. Everybody's going to start to fight one another for the power seat. And that's when Yahushua is going to come declare that he's going to be in the power seat. Okay? But let's continue with and stay on point with this video. AI chat.
As they progress and as they are subsequently adopted by member states. BRICS countries are now among the most significant economic powers in the entire world. As you know, and I mention this quite frequently, the IMF now projects that the growth of BRICS members will outpace that of the G7 countries, including the United States. So definitely something to keep in mind and to be aware of.
Which you can see that because they're slowly growing. They're slowly progressing, and they're doing more and more and more, okay? Which is why I just mentioned that percentage, all right? It's going to continue going up.
During the BRICS Business Forum at the International Trade Center in Moscow that was held on October the 17th through October the 18th, a new BRICS Pay card was revealed for the first time. It is part of a new BRICS Pay transaction settlement system, so the card itself is just a small fraction of what is to come and what the BRICS bloc is currently working on. Just as intended, BRICS Pay provides the bloc's member countries with expanded payment options. During the conference, every single person who was in attendance had an opportunity to test this new BRICS Pay card. I believe that each card had a balance on it that allowed an individual to get a coffee or...
Yeah, QR code. I couldn't think of the words for nothing. Just a minute ago. QR code, that little thing that you just saw. Get scanned. There's a QR code. I just couldn't think of the name of it.
Get a light meal. It could be used during the forum on October the 17th through October the 18th in stores with special BRICS Pay markings. To activate that...
And we just went over all that, all right? You scan the QR code and, you're using this, card that was preloaded with the 500 rubles to get them a feel of the system, how this card works, how smooth it works, what's the purpose behind it, all these things that they're chopping it up about, okay? And so, it's preloaded with a $500 so you can go and just, chill with the card and use the card and get a feel for it, all right?
money, one needed to register in the system and then just scan the QR code of the card itself. To make a payment, once the registration was complete, a person needed to scan that QR code from the screen of the employee's phone in the cafe or store from the payment system. So it was quite easy and very, very convenient. According to the BRICS-Pay official website, it is being described as a potential, quote, cornerstone for payments for nations. BRICS-Pay is completely decentralized, which is extremely important feature of this entire system. BRICS-Pay is a decentralized payment messaging system that, once fully developed and launched among the BRICS members, it may become a challenger to Western SWIFT architecture. BRICS-Pay has been in development for several years now, and it makes perfect sense because it is a completely innovative platform unlike any other before it. There's a really great video that I will show you in just a minute. It shows a step-by-step guide explaining how BRICS-Pay cards actually work. I will show you that video in just a couple of minutes. I think it is absolutely fascinating, and I think it will help explain and also help visualize what the
I was just about to say that because we just went through that with the article, but getting the visual also helps, so we can see it. All right, so let's keep going.
This new card is and how convenient it will be. According to
hold up, there you go. What she just say? Convenient. I keep mentioning that word convenient, man. And that's the thing. That's the key thing that they're pushing, man. Convenience. They're making all these different technologies, all right, and making them convenient. Okay, these lying signs and wonders, giving the lame, the ability to walk again, the blind ability of sight. You got the what is it called? The magic genie, okay? It's basically digital necromancy and other things, man, through their technology, man, okay? Not just Elon Musk and because you got Neuralink, you got Alter Ego, and, these other ones that we mentioned. Of course, I don't have them all in the back of my head. They're on my poster. I believe there's a couple more I got to add to my poster. I keep mentioning, I gotta remember to do that, but there's some other names there, all right, with some, prominent technology that I can add to that poster there, all right? But yeah, all these things are pushed forward to you in the form of convenience. Okay, that's why it says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices, man. And this all lines in, with 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. All right, probably from like verse 4, maybe even 3, on down through maybe like 9 or 10 or whatever. Okay, but let's keep going.
Russian finance minister, the new cross-border payment infrastructure will be based on advanced technologies and will enable faster and cheaper foreign trade transactions that are without external interference.
And this can possibly be just like we mentioned, the FedNow app. This could be something similar to, all these BRICS countries having their digital banks. And when they want to do transactions between one country, like from Brazil to China, maybe this card comes into play to make those transactions smooth between those two digital banks. I'm not saying that's for sure. I'm just, trying to figure things out here. Okay, because we don't really have too much information on it as of yet. But that may be how this operates, because everybody's going to have that digital bank. Okay, and so to make those transactions smooth from Russia to India or whatever the case may be, maybe this is where that card comes into play. We'll see.
BRICS-Pay will be a tool that would help members of the Economic Alliance reduce their use of the US dollar. It will help facilitate financial diversification since multiple currencies will be in use. And in addition to that, it will also improve the country's economic sovereignty.
Yeah, see, like she just said, multiple currencies will be in use because everybody's going to have their country's currency. But that card makes those transactions. It's kind of like when you go, like majority places now. All right, you got to take your American dollars. You may have to get them changed over, to a French currency or the so-called Mexican currency or whatever the case may be, and change your dollars over to pesos. But that's pretty much, a similar thing there. All right, where the American dollar is so prominent all over the earth. Okay, you would just pretty much take it everywhere, even if you have to, change that money over. They're trying to cut that out. Okay, they're trying to make them deal amongst themselves, all right, with their own currencies, and then having a way that those currencies can interact one with another, but smoothly. So there's there's really no dominant currency when you look at it that way. All right, everything happens smoothly through this system that they're setting up. Okay.
One of the main benefits that's worth pointing out here is that BRICS Pay is an extremely important step towards building stronger ties among all BRICS bloc members. This is precisely the kind of foundation that will, without a doubt, help streamline their economic cooperation, their trade, and also possibly foster deeper cultural and social ties.
And that's the thing that the West doesn't have. See, over there with the BRICS, they're talking about, building bonds and things of that nature. When you're dealing with America, because, it's written in the scriptures, all right, this is the beast or the bully, okay? And all the other nations are subject under them that are on their side, all right? They're vassal states. Okay, on the BRICS, you have people trying to operate, on an equal level playing field. But in America, you have one person being the head, and then you have vassal states under them. All right, giving power up over to them and, taking their direction from them. You get my point? Which, of course, now, Russia is, the head over there, as in, as preferred, as the scriptures, speak it. But I'm not, speaking on like prophetic, as far as the scriptures speak. I'm just saying, like, with the way that these things are going, you have them talking about building bonds, but over here in America, we're the top dog and everybody else is under us. So you get that, you see that separation there on how they're operating. But it all leads to the same thing, regardless of how it plays out on either side. It all leads to the same thing.
Once BRICS Pay is fully developed and launched across all states, their population won't have the headache of dealing with currency conversion, or they won't have to incur additional costs due to foreign exchange rates. That function.
And you see, I just mentioned that currency conversion. Okay. And that's just something that they're also wiping out. They can have their own currency, even though it's be sort of a digital bank at some point. It never changed from the rubles or the yen or whatever. Or wait, maybe not the yen, because I believe the yen is in Japan. All right. But you get my point though. Whatever their currency is, and then this BRICS Pay system connects all those currencies without ever having to change any one of them. You see? So they have the same idea as the Western side of things, but they're just going about it in a different way. Because it leads to the same thing, man. The establishment of the digital system, the digital banks, and eventually, in order to function, the microchip. You see?
Will be automatically built into the system, and it will be more affordable since people won't have to use the US dollar. So that's definitely a very, very appealing feature. Here's the official video that I just promised. I think it is a very, very interesting one. It was produced by BRICS Pay, and it's just a couple of minutes long, but once you watch the video, you will see how easy it is to use. Take a look.
Here we go.
This is a great way to illustrate how BRICS Pay actually works. As you see, this is an officially produced illustration by BRICS Pay, starting with the setup of your account by entering your phone number, verifying it, and then enabling your Face ID if you wish, and your account is fully set up. Then you go ahead and link your card through the app, and you're ready.
You see, you link your card, whatever your bank card is, or that BRICS Pay card or whatever. All right. So you never have to change over from using rubles or whatever the case may be. You're linking your card, and the system itself links one currency to another currency. You see how that works? It's very smooth and it's very convenient. But that, once again, is a trap, man.
To pay. Essentially, you scan QR code for payment, but first you need to choose a card that you would like to use and scan the QR code. It also enables you to check your history of transactions, which I think is a very, very good feature to have. It will also enable you to generate QR code for payment at any store. As you can see, this is very, very easy, and it does have a very user-friendly interface.
And that was it. Simple.
A group of experts from the Global South that were present during the conference voiced their support for this new system. For example, a professor at the School of International Relations and Diplomacy at Beijing Foreign Studies University, Son Wei, said, "As a group of emerging market countries, the significance of launching such a payment system to BRICS is evident. It carries practical implications for safeguarding the economic sovereignty of developing countries and expanding economic and trade cooperation." Son said that this new payment system could deepen economic collaboration among BRICS nations. It will also help promote trade and investment partnerships, allowing these countries to utilize their economic influence to drive global economic recovery. Additionally, he also said that there is a possibility that this settlement system may serve as a pilot. So he also agrees that this is just the first step, that it may serve as a pilot for multilateral cooperation, including the Belt and Road Initiative.
We mentioned that.
Now, I hope that this video was interesting. I think that this is a fascinating development. And
Yeah, because with China and the Belt and Roads Initiative, there's somewhere everywhere with that. Okay, so if you're going to be in other countries, hey, you're going to want to use this system to make transactions and payments much more easier. All right, so they're just just offering up the same thing that the West is offering up: convenience. Okay, and like she said, pilot program, but really it's a global pilot. All right, because if the BRICS, if it works for them, they know they can roll it out in America. If it works for the BRICS and it goes smoothly, they know they can roll it out for America. All right. And then they just connect everything together. And then there you have it. Digital system, CHIPS. All right.
And we're certainly looking forward to the annual summit that is just about to begin next week, and I will keep you updated. Thank you for watching. Thank you for...
So this is probably, at least 7 to 8 days old. Because I believe that's what the article came up from that particular summit, that meeting there that we just read. So yeah, it's probably pretty much there, I mean, but hey, that's what we're trying to do. Just stay, locked into what's going on. Try to stay on top of things. So, you can look into it for yourself if you like. Maybe you could find even more information. But there you have it, man. Okay. The BRICS is starting to make their move. They've been talking about it for a long time. They're pushing for that de-dollarization. But really, is more so they're pushing for the digital system on their end. And then America has just to bring up their end, and it'll be one world, currency, which is digital. All right. And that's the key thing. The currency will all be digital. And in order for everybody to continue, because that's one thing they didn't go into that, right? In order for you to continue in society, you have to take the device to get the digital currency. That's the thing they're not telling you. Doesn't matter what side it is, the BRICS or the West. That's what they're not telling you, man. Okay, so we know what it's leading up to. And, man, hey, you see what the Lord is doing, man. He's pushing forward and forward and forward, closer and closer and closer. So we leave it at that. Lord willing, you will edify to next time, Yahshua. I'm going to say shalom.